Why should you read Thomas Sowell? What can the sage 94-year-old economist teach the youngest and oldest generation in our times? Here's the point. Thomas Sowell is one of America's most important public intellectuals over the last century. He's published more than 30 books on economics, race, culture, and politics. Born in poverty in North Carolina, raised in Harlem, New York, and educated at Harvard, Columbia, and the University of Chicago under Nobel Prize winner George Stigler, Sowell represents the pinnacle of American intellectual achievement. But what makes Sowell essential reading today is that he demolishes liberal narratives with logical, plain-spoken, data-driven arguments that exposes flawed and faulty beliefs. Sowell is a clear thinker. We need clear thinkers. His wisdom applies to much of our politics and everyday life. In a culture drowning in emotional manipulation and ideological posturing, Sowell offers something rare: clear thinking, grounded in facts, history, and a proper understanding of human nature. Here are 5 critical reasons why I think every leader should read Thomas Sowell. First, Sowell teaches basic economics in ways anyone can understand. He teaches economics to the elites who think they understand it but don't actually. He teaches economics to the ignorant who know they don't understand but actually can. Too many Americans are economically illiterate. That's why they're vulnerable to politicians peddling utopian schemes. Sowell teaches how markets actually work, why government intervention often hurts the people it tries to help. Sowell said, the first lesson of economics is scarcity. There is never enough of anything to fully satisfy all those who want it. The first lesson of politics is to disregard the first lesson of economics. His book, Basic Economics, should be required reading in every homeschooler and parent's household. When Christians understand economics, they can better steward resources, serve their communities, and spot political deception. Second, Sowell understands human anthropology in ways that often align with biblical truth. To my knowledge, I do not think Sowell is a Christian, but he is often read by Christian thinkers because Sowell understands human nature. He understands human fallenness just as Scripture teaches. His book, A Conflict of Visions, distinguishes between the constrained vision, humans are flawed and need limits, and the unconstrained vision, humans are perfectible through proper social arrangements. Christianity has always held the constrained vision that we're fallen, finite creatures in need of redemption. Sowell's work reinforces what Christians should already know. Utopianism fails because human nature is broken. Third, Sowell exposes common liberal fallacies with devastating precision. This is his intellectual superpower. His analysis of the disparate impact fallacy, the zero-sum fallacy, and the cosmic justice fallacy are just some of the many ways he equips conservative thinkers to answer progressive arguments. When someone claims unequal outcomes prove discrimination, Sowell shows why that's intellectually dishonest. His book, The Vision of the Anointed, systematically dismantles elite assumptions that have dominated our culture for the last 50 years. Facts are not liberals' strong suit. Rhetoric is, Sowell said. He also said this: the problem isn't that Johnny can't read. The problem isn't even that Johnny can't think. The problem is that Johnny doesn't know what thinking is. He confuses it with feeling. Fourth, Sowell teaches the critical importance of trade-offs in decision-making. There are no solutions, he says, only trade-offs. Every policy has costs and benefits. This wisdom applies to everything from government programs to personal choices to church leadership decisions. Christians especially need this perspective. Too often, believers embrace policies based on good intentions without counting their costs and unintended consequences. Sowell forces us to think beyond first-order consequences and asks, well, then what? Sowell said, there are no solutions. There are only trade-offs. Fifth, Sowell models intellectual courage and independence. He's been called every name imaginable for refusing to conform to ideological orthodoxy. This is especially true as a black conservative who refused to heap false praise on Barack Obama because his policies were effectively bad and his ideology was dangerous. Sowell stands firm, committed to truth over any tribal loyalty. For conservatives and Christian leaders facing pressure to compromise our conviction, Sowell demonstrates how to maintain intellectual integrity, especially in hostile environments. Truth-telling always requires courage. Sowell was critical of Obama allowing Muslim refugees into the United States who were responsible for the terrorist attacks in San Bernardino. He said this, "The first responsibility of any government is to protect the people already in the country. Even in the age of entitlement mentality, no one in a foreign country is entitled to be in America if the American people don't want them here." Thomas Sowell's clear thinking, his respect for facts over feelings, and his understanding of human nature make him an invaluable resource for conservatives and Christians alike. He challenges faulty and emotional thinking. In a world of confusion, clear thinking is in rare supply. Thomas Sowell said it best, when you want to help people, you tell them the truth.